Hello YouTube, today I got a little treat for you. We are going to run a crab beacon in a Revelation. This will be my first solo crab beacon in the Revelation. I did test it already. I shot a couple of the crab rats and tried it out a little bit and it's doing really well. So it's the first time running solo and it's a crab beacon. And crab beacons are really cool. I'm going to kind of explain to you guys what they are. But I've been really enjoying these things. They're called Concord Rogue Analysis Beacons. And how they work is you have CEQs, and the system has a modifier stat, so only so many can be placed in a specific area. So there's only so many that can happen in one place. And then each character can only run 3 per day, or up to 4, because it takes 6 hours to regenerate enough CEQs to run a site. Basically what you do is you drop these in space and they make a beacon that drone rats warp to, and then they shoot you and you fight them. It's really simple, and it's a fun thing to do because the bounties are really high and you get loot at the end. So it can be quite exciting. Like I said, I haven't really done the Rev solo. I've been farming them in hell quite a bit. And I found out that the Rev is a really good alternative and with significantly less risk. So today I'm just going to kind of bring you a video of the crab and kind of explain where the channel is, I guess. We'll kind of tie that in. This isn't meant to be a guide. This is meant to be a gameplay video. I just want to share with you guys some of the gameplay I've been doing and hopefully enlighten you guys on what I've been up to for the last month. Anyways, we're landing here on grid. Maybe I can't anchor it within the customs office. I don't know. We are actually going to go to the moon here. This is where I wanted to go. I screwed up. We had a warp? Yeah, we're just going to warp within 0 there, and we're going to take a while to do this. Because we're flying at the speed of light. And I really screwed up by warping to 0 on a customs office. We have landed in a random place in space. I'm not going to tell you exactly where in space it is because I guess it doesn't matter. It's a crab beacon. Anyways, when you deploy these things, they launch a beacon in space and they show up on the overview. They're pretty obvious, and if something comes in local, they're going to come right towards you if they think they can kill you. So that's the thing. I always rename them to something stupid, like Veldspar, or set name. We'll name it Hateless or Hatless. Name it Hatless. But basically, after you anchor it, you can begin the link. And what happens is you get a 5-minute timer where you link with it. Or sorry, it's a 4-minute timer now, apparently. I thought it was 5 minutes. Anyways, there's 5 minutes where you can't warp off. There's a minute after where you can't warp off. So there's nothing I can do to leave this grid right now. Except get bumped out of this little ring. And if I get bumped out of this little ring, it breaks the tether. It consumes my CEQ. And I only get to do 2 crabs for the day if I get bumped out of this. So we really don't want to bump out of this. And yeah, we're just going to kind of wait out the timer. So you guys might notice I'm flying a capital ship. And I'm out in Null Sec. I made friends and we moved out to Null Sec. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do in EVE Online for a while, and I just kind of started mining. I really enjoyed mining, and then one day in my stream while I was mining a high-sec moon, a viewer came in and was like, "Hey, dude, I'm a director in a corp, and I think you would be awesome for the corp." And he started talking to me. We talked for a bit during the stream, and then he got in my DM. He slid right into my DMs. So pro, man. So since he slid into my DMs, we started talking about like why I don't want to be in Null and why I didn't think that Null was right for me and all that. And he convinced me. He's a persuasive guy. And so I moved out here, and my first like week and a half was a little rough because I didn't like know where anything was, and I was just kind of like figuring out, getting my feet in. And then after a while, I just kind of like kept on like stepping in a little bit more, and I just kind of slowly became a full null bear. I got a Raquel now. I have 2 dreads, a carrier, a super. I'm probably going to end up with a Titan sooner or later. I'm not entirely sure. But I like playing with these toys. They're fun. They're something different. One thing that's really weird that I've noted is that you can actually make more ISK in high sec than you can in null sec. You have to know what you're doing and you have to be effective at what you're doing, but there is better ISK in high sec than null sec. However, null sec is significantly safer. As I'm recording this video, I'm paying very little attention to the actual screen and what's going on, and I'm watching intel channels. And I will know well ahead of time before something shows up, or a wormhole will open up in my system and it'll surprise me, and then I have friends to come save me. So it's significantly safer here in null sec than it is in high sec. And so you can play with the fun toys, you can have fun, you can just kind of have a good time. And there's always people and friends around that are, going to have fun. For those of you guys wondering where I went into NC Dot, which is part of PanFam. And we work with PanFam and live in Dronelands. And it's been a fantastic experience. I've really been learning a lot and enjoying the game on a level that I really hadn't enjoyed it before. They say in EVE, the best friend is friendship, and I really didn't grasp that concept until I joined this corporation and, got out in the null and actually worked with people and flew with friends and saw how fun that is. And then hanging out in comms and mining is like the best thing ever. So like I'll mine for 5 hours a day. I've been playing the game a lot more too. Before I used to only play to stream, and so if I was playing EVE Online, I was streaming. So you guys would find me doing some random ratting thing or some random crabbing thing, and I'd talk about how I optimized it and made it like the best I could. And out here in null sec, it's different. The pace is different. The income's good. It's not peak income, so it's not like the best income you can get in the game, but it's good income. So you don't really worry about ISK so much, and you just kind of have fun and blow things up. Anyways, as we approach this 0 timer, I'm going to go ahead and siege my dread because we want to be able to fire back at the rats. And once that timer expires, we have a minute left here where we can't warp, and then we have a 9-minute timer that will count down as long as there aren't rats on grid. If there's rats on grid, this timer will pause, and the goal is to get it down to 0. And you have to do it within an hour or else it self-destructs. So we anchored this 4 minutes ago at 20 after. So we have 25 minutes to go. Most of these rats are pretty simple. You see how it turns yellow and it says pause. We got these guys. The Taos are generally the hardest to deal with, and that's because they hang out really far away. They like to hang out at 70 kilometers, and they're not lockable yet. Oh dear. Location, control tower, warp 0, cloak.
Warp drive active.
He's going to come back. I did not cloak my Sino-Alt, which is not good. Actually, I might be able to stop him. He actually cloaked. So I messed up there. I messed up really big. They warped off to my Sino-Alt, and I was like, why are they warping off? Anyways, problem solved. We cloaked the Sino-Alt before they got locked. Anyways, we'll lock these guys up. That Tau likes to hang out really far, and this guy likes to hang out kind of close. So there's battleship spawns, and there's kind of like cruiser spawns. Cruisers, different disruptors will disrupt you in various ways, so it's advised that you kill them first. Since I already have conflagration loaded, I'm going to go ahead and kill that Zeta first. And the Revelation is insanely good at this. What I've noted is that these guys do quite a bit of DPS. As you can see, my shields are going fairly quickly, even though I have 100,000 shields. So killing them quickly is helpful. The quicker you kill them, the less DPS you take. And more will show up. Every couple minutes, some new spawns will happen. I'm honestly unsure of how well the tank on this will do. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Standard. I found Standard's really good for the Taus. And knock out that Tau. Either way, we have to kill all these rats kill all these rats to continue this timer. This dread is the official Horde fit, so I can't share the exact fitting. I would like to, but I can't share it. I might make an optimized fitting that I personally enjoy after flying this more. But until then, you guys are going to have to bear with it. It's a Revelation. It does DPS, and it goes burr. Like I said, this is a gameplay video, not really a guide. I've really been enjoying running these crabs. They're quite fun. I'll run them for a while. I have several, like I said, several capital alts. I'll drop multiple at a time. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy now. So I do only have a Tech 2 Tech 2 Stasis Grappler on this. If I had the Kinshiniro, I'd be able to hit these with Stasis Grapple, but it only affected like 5%. So it's not that helpful. And it looks like I am struggling to track this guy. So I might want to change over to multi-frequency for this target. That'll give me better tracking. There we go. Now we're hitting it a little bit better. And of course, we're stationary, so we just kind of have to deal with its orbit. And it's dead. So each of the NPCs is a little bit different, and they vary from like a little frigate, and then they go up to battleships that do like 3,000 DPS. They're kind of scary. They do a lot of damage, and they will kill subcapitals, even marauders. They do enough DPS that it deters subcapitals from being on grid, but not enough DPS that you care about it a lot as a capital pilot. A super, for example, can just sit here and take the damage, and they don't need a rep at all. And in fact, you buffer tank supers to run this, and you just kind of sit there. The Hell actually has more regeneration than damage that it does, so it sits at like 90%, 90 to 80% shields, and it doesn't really go below that unless you run like 8 crabs in a row. But the this, like I said, is my first experience with a solo rev. I have flown a Hell and a Neglyfer, and I've flown... I just tested this with the Aeon buddy on grid with me, and that was fun. Anyways, we have the next NPC here, group of NPCs. This time we got a Omicron, Infested Theta, and a Pi. The Pi disrupts, so I'm going to kill that first. But the Omicron newts and does a lot of damage. I don't like being disrupted at all. So I'm going to deal with that first. We're just going to grapple him and start firing here. And the damage here is just disgusting. I'm going to run this for a cycle. Just one cycle. We don't need to run it for 2. After I kill the Pi, because it disrupts, or actually target paints, look at that. And then I'm going to kill the Omicron, because I really don't like the Omicron here. And we have another one. We have an Obstructor New, which I believe also disrupts in some way. And the bounties on these are kind of ridiculous. So each of these rats is worth a couple million-esque, which is really, really nice. And I'm watching Intel and all that as well while we do this. So that's almost dead. I could probably switch over to... I'm going to kill this new, and then I'll switch over to Gleam to kill the Theta. Theta appears to be target painting me. Go ahead and shut that off. I do want to conserve as much cap as I can, because we don't want to just run right out of cap, if that makes sense. It'd be really bad if we ran out of cap. So multi-frequency is a nice one. I'm really enjoying it. It's helpful. There is another fit that somebody made in my in-game channel, which would be faster at clearing, but for solo it might not be viable, because it doesn't have a lot of tank. It just has the one repper and only a single cap booster. But that might actually be enough. And based on this run, I might find that that's the way to go, because additional DPS might be really good. 10,000 damage. So here's a little frigate. This thing will decide to scram you, so you can't warp off. Supers don't care, but the Neglyfer definitely cares. Or the Neglyfer and the Rev definitely care. We'll go ahead and lock them up. I'm going to load multi-frequency, and I'll run one cycle. I probably shouldn't have ran that cycle. It's probably premature. But since this guy's so close, the grapple is going to affect him a lot, and we'll actually be able to hit him. So he's going to slow down quite a bit, and then we'll be able to hit him. They have fairly large signature radiuses, so capital weapons can actually hit them. But this one might be a struggle. If I do struggle with this one too much... it's within 1,700 meters. I will go ahead and switch. I'll go ahead and bring my super down here to clean it up. But I should, in theory, be able to kill it. Theoretically here. But I appear to be just missing. Big yikes. I'm going to wait for that thing to maybe get closer and get stronger webs on it. And we'll go ahead and kill this guy while we wait. There's a couple more here. Can I hit it yet? Well, that looked a lot closer. I might have to bring my carrier. So this fit struggles against Vector Moo, which is unfortunate. Trying to figure out how to deal with this with my current loadout. This guy gets close and it's hard to track, so I'm going to let go of the Moo. I'm going to grapple him. I might need to switch over to multi. Oh, actually, no, that's doing really well. So I'm not a fan of this Moo guy here. I think he turned off his prop mod. He's established his orbit and his prop mod's off, so now might be the time to hit him. Go ahead and hit this guy, because he's already not moving fast. I might just have to wait for him to come into orbit, and that might be what it is, because look how slow he is. He may have had a prop mod on, and that's why he's difficult. Difficult, lemon, difficult. Like I said, I'm learning with you guys. I haven't run the rev yet. I've been using supers to do this. I have a hell that just smashes these. Go ahead and switch over to multi-frequency. Come on, hit it. It's almost stationary. You can hit that. Come on. I have to switch to this because it's nuding. This is kind of frustrating. The Neglifer can hit these, which is interesting. I actually can't warp off right now, which is fun. Oh, actually, you know what? The Smart Bomb does significant damage to it. So we'll just run that a little bit and hope for the best. This might be why it has a Smart Bomb on it. That actually makes sense. The Smart Bomb is doing significant damage. Yeah, this is why it has a Smart Bomb. I'm just going to run the Smart Bomb and it'll kill it. So that means when these appear, they're going to take a little while to kill. The Smart Bomb is actually doing decent damage. My Super Carrier with its Amitats only do like 100 damage a shot, so this is all right. It's not going to die immediately, but can kill the other things when they come in. A web and grapple combo might actually make that hittable with the guns, which would speed up the sight a little bit. So the single Smart Bomb can actually kill that. That's actually slightly impressive. This thing has like no health. Clean this up, we'll kill these two news, and then the Moo will be dead. And then we'll be able to progress our timer. We are down to 8 minutes and 25 seconds. We have a blue in local. We always pay attention, right? He's probably like, there's a super sitting here and I'm worried about it. But no, the super is deep in tether. He's fine. I'll run a cycle here. We got a Sigma. Sigma is the drone, so I think he's going to throw drones out. This one has a 5.2 millionist bounty on it, and then it gets hit by DBM or BRM. So BRM is a thing, by the way. BRMs are amazing. I really like the fact that they exist. So it forces you to kind of spread out, and it makes it so you can't rat every single day, all day, every day. If you do that, you'll kill the BRM, and the bounties won't be as much. But I'm currently in a system with 140%, which means I'll get 40% more than that 5.2 million ISK. So it's going to be more like 8 million ISK. Or no, it's not 8. It'd be 50% more. So it'd be about 7 million ISK that I get out of that single rat. Gave me roughly 7 million ISK, which is just insane when you think about it. Like, absolutely insane. And the bounties are fun, and what's really cool is that these can drop up to, I believe, up to a W mod. We had a courtmate get a couple of faction mods out of it today, and I've seen up to 500 million myself, and I've heard of up to like 3 or 4 billion coming out of these crabs. So I don't know, but we'll see when we get loot. Sorry, Intel said something. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. And this Revelation's a fun ship. I think it's pretty. It's got a beak. I decided to name it Birdbeak. And for those that were in my in-game channel, I did link the fit because it is slightly modified from the standard pan crab fit, or not pan crab fit, the standard riding fit that's advised. Made a couple improvements. However, I after this I have a few more improvements to make and some things that I want to do for sure. So we got three NPCs. I'm going to go ahead and kill this close one first. And then it looks like we got a triple Tau, so we'll switch to standard to clean that up. These guys are just going to hang out way over there, which is somewhat frustrating. And I don't really enjoy it. But this Rev is absolutely, it's tanking it really well too. I'm actually impressed by that. I was told that I could go through up to as many as 10 cap charges during one of these runs. And so far we haven't had to use a single one. However, our cap is down to about 40%, which is a little different, but with the super carrier, we keep it above 75. That's just so that it can jump out, but we're sieged anyways, so we can't really leave if something shows up. We're just kind of subject to death, I guess, if something shows up. I do have friends. Oh, I got a neutral. I'm going to go ahead and drop siege. And hopefully he passes. Maybe I have eyes on him? Nope. But I do suddenly have a neutral. We'll see what happens here. Maybe this will get exciting. Locations, align. I can actually align here, which is nice. I'm going to turn this off, and we're just going to hope this neutral passes. I'm going to turn things off. I don't want to re-siege because there's nothing tackling me here, and maybe he'll pass. But if he does land on me, location control tower align, we will immediately warp as we are almost aligned here. I'm hoping he passes. No. Bye. Did I get it? Nope. Hello, Pancrab. I am tackled in a revelation on a crab by a heretic. I'm out of siege. However, the heretic has bubbled me. I'll give you a location. He is from Out of Focus. I'm currently out of siege, and if this bubble expires, I will warp off. Will do. So this is something that can happen. I lose my crab because somebody warped in. It's just one neutral at the moment, and I should be aligned. There we go. And if he decloaks and drops another bubble, I will raise the alarm. Yeah, I'm tackled by a rat. What's tackling me? Oh no, I'm tackled by the warp destruction. I'm tackled by the warp destruction probe. So I'm halfway through armor. I don't want to run my rep. The heretic decloaked and is persisting the bubble. Will do. Sino is in position, and I have inhibs. There's no inhib. My bad. The heretic just warped off to the control tower, which is what I'm aligned to. Do I have eyes on that? No, I do not. Yes, I'm going to align to the structure now. Yeah, I'm going to have to siege or the rats will kill me. I'm in low armor. Okay. Yeah, the Sino's on grid and ready to go. So I sieged up a cycle due to the fact that he's just kind of holding me here. And I'm unable to get rid of him, and he's just holding me. I've alerted friends, and they are not necessarily on their way, but they're ready to help should this escalate to something more, and it likely will. This is par for course out in Null Sec. I really doubt I'm going to die. I'm going to rep up my armor here. I'm going to kill the rats and hope for the best. Now we're going to turn that off because I don't need that to rep again. We're going to go ahead and switch to multi-frequency, knock that out. Coming. I have a +1 neutral in system. Same corp. I'm currently working on reporting this. All right, we got a third. So they're coming in. I got a heretic and a crusader. They're poking my things that are tethered on the Astra House. Nothing else. Nothing else is currently in danger. It's just the revelation. So sorry, I'm being quiet. I'm communicating with a lot of people right now. I'm making sure that I'm safe and I am dealing with things. I'm going to safe log my super. Log my Naglifer. So I need to. No, they're not bumping me off or anything. They're just on grid with them. So I have friends on the way. All good. There's only 3 here currently. So I'm talking to people and I'm just kind of doing things. No, they're running drive-by bubbles. Something I might actually be able to shoot. Heretic, Malediction currently, and there's a chance of, I guess, Bedmax and Ishtar's coming. Nothing. I'm gonna Crab Beacon. They actually kind of screwed up the last bubble. I might make it out of here. Local is beginning to climb. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in local now.
Warp drive active.
Well, they're bad. Yeah, they let me warp. I'm not sure if I'm going to get caught in a bubble, but I went to the Athenor. Yeah, Rev is safe. I don't care about my crab. I think it's safe as long as it doesn't land in a bubble. I'm almost to the Athenor. I have eyes on the Athenor. There's just no bubbles between it and me. So, yep, it's safe. Null Sec. Sometimes you get a freebie. But should they have escalated, I did have friends ready to help, and that's kind of nice. That's very anticlimactic for something normally they. So that was totally anticlimactic. It kind of sucks that I lost my thing, but that's okay. But generally, when you feel like you're going to get caught, you do everything you can to get away. I lost my crab beacon. I lost my CEQ. But that makes for a nice little 30-minute video. Just general gameplay. This is kind of a risky system that I'm in, and that's why the BRM is so high. And yeah, that's a beacon for you. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed a little bit of excitement, so to speak, do let me know. And I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys continue flying fun. Enjoy your time in EVE Online. And I will see you guys around.